Fiona Lark could tell when newlyweds were faking it. She didn't need keen intuition or delicate observation of how their fingers intertwined. She needed only to raise her grandfather's battered Leica, press the shutter, and later slip the developed files into her laptop. The camera had a gift, or a curse. Most people who saw her photos gasped over the warm light or the romantic framing. They never noticed what Fiona saw when she zoomed to 100%. The pixel edges shivered, reshaped into things no lens should record, a tight smile peeling back into an animal snarl, or a bouquet of lilies turning gray at the petals where resentment lurked. Fiona understood these images were not literal. They were emotional X-rays, a glimpse of marrow-deep truths. She had learned over a decade of weddings not to meddle. When she saw agitation, like a groom's shadow widening behind him into a claw, she delivered the album, took the check, and left. Couples deserved privacy, she told herself. Besides, people sometimes grew into kinder versions of themselves, and sometimes they divorced without a single bruise. She was certain her pictures were warnings, not prophecies. Then Olivia and Mason Whitcomb hired her. They found Fiona through a magazine spread, insisting only she could capture the fairy tale aesthetic Olivia adored. They met at a cafe near the city courthouse. Olivia wore a sun-sallow dress and twirled a strand of hair as she spoke. Mason, all tailored charcoal and polished cufflinks, watched Olivia the way a hawk studies an unsuspecting rabbit. So intent, Fiona grew uneasy. She lifted the Leica and snapped a test shot. The preview glimmered innocently enough. Two beautiful people with overpriced coffees. But for a hairline flicker across Mason's eyes, thin as a spider thread, Fiona chose not to look closer in public. Instead, she booked the date early July, Riverside Estate in Hudson Valley, and tried to ignore the chills skating her spine. The wedding itself was a catalog ad come to life. Paper lanterns, champagne towers, a string quartet playing an arrangement of pop hits. Olivia floated down the aisle like a monarch butterfly. Mason waited with an expression glued from every bridal magazine Fiona had ever thumbed through. Beneath that pasteboard smile, though, something jittered. The Leica did not miss it. Each time Fiona squeezed the shutter, the camera clicked louder than usual, as if it struggled to swallow what it saw. Back in her studio loft, she poured a glass of cheap Merlot, imported the raw files, and braced herself. The first thumbnails looked normal. She opened one full screen. Olivia stood among lavender bushes while Mason kissed her temple. The frame flickered. Lavender stalks blackened, curling like burning paper. A crimson stain seeped across Olivia's lace sleeve, blooming outward like spilled wine. Mason's face blurred, then clarified. Eyes narrowed, lips drawn in a hard straight line. Fiona cursed, clicked to the next. The couple's first dance. Guests circled, holding sparklers. In Fiona's version, sparks elongated into glowing needles, each aimed at Olivia's bare shoulders. Mason's hand on her waist became a cuff, shiny and metal. Next image, the cake cutting. Frosting dripped scarlet. Olivia's smile trembled, and in the reflection of a silver knife, Fiona saw Mason's eyes, flat and delightless. Fiona snapped the laptop shut so fast the screen quaked. She paced between tripods and light stands, Merlot forgotten. It's exaggeration, she told herself. Symbolic sadness, not fate. Still, she powered up again, heart banging. The Leica's files had always concentrated unease into a single frame. They had never told a sequence. Tonight, the photographs arranged themselves in a slideshow Fiona hadn't created. One image dissolved into another, morphing into scenes that hadn't happened. Olivia and Mason on a tropical balcony, moonlit waves beyond. Olivia turning, startled, as Mason lifted a marble statuette. The final slide froze on Olivia sprawled across ceramic tiles, blood pooling beneath wet wedding lace. Word pulsed at the bottom right corner of the frame. Honeymoon. Fiona slammed the lid and fled to the sink. She rinsed her face with cold water while her lungs begged for order. She considered destroying the files, but the Leica had never lied about feelings. Why should it start concocting murder? Olivia had left for Fiji that afternoon. She'd posted an excited airport selfie on Instagram, The resort. Kadavu Pearl. A private island reachable only by seaplane. Fiona paced harder. If she called Olivia now, what could she say? Hi, your wedding album says your new husband is going to bludgeon you on a balcony. Enjoy the complimentary champagne. She tried Mason's public persona instead. A quick search revealed precisely manicured personal articles. Philanthropic heir, venture capitalist, gentle patron of animal shelters. Buried on page 7 of results, Fiona found a tabloid blurb from college. Girlfriend fractured wrist during drunken stumble. She clicked. The article had been scrubbed. Only the headline cache remained. Her phone chimed. An email from Olivia. Subject line, can't wait, inside. A photo of tropical sunrise from plane window. Plus, Mason keeps saying how grateful he is you captured our perfect day. Thank you, thank you. Talk soon. Fiona stared at the exclamation points until they blurred. She forwarded the slideshow to her secondary shooter, Lucas, without context. Lucas replied under a minute. What Dodger? It's not a filter, she wrote. Look closely. Looks like some messed up AI glitch. But if you're trying to make a point, I get it. Mileage may vary in paradise. Fiona phoned him. Those images aren't glitches. My camera does that. Sees emotions. She sounded deranged and knew it. There's emotion, and there's murder porn, Fee. I'm flying to Fiji. The words leapt out before reason could muzzle them. I'll warn her face to face. Do you even have their itinerary? Not yet. Credit cards maxed? Then I'll sell the Leica. Her voice broke. If she dies and I did nothing. Silence hummed through the line. Send me the raws, Lucas said softly. I'll dig metadata for geotags. Maybe they booked extras through the resort. Within an hour, he produced a schedule. Villa 9 at Kadavu Pearl. 4 nights, then scuba charter. Fiona scoured flight options. The quickest route put her on a red-eye to Nadi, then a puddle jumper. Before dawn, she pawned her studio's backup bodies, lenses, and the strobe kits she hated. Enough for a coach ticket and, barely, a 2-night stay in mainland Fiji. She kept only the Leica, hanging it around her neck like moral armor. The 20-hour journey blurred into recycled air and half-digested airplane meals. At Nadi International, she sprinted through customs, caught the seaplane by minutes, and collapsed into a vinyl seat beside a honeymooning couple who toasted each other with duty-free rum. When they asked if she too was celebrating, she lied. Anniversary trip. The Pearl appeared as a jade oval set in blue glass. The resort's private pier jutted like a beckoning finger. Fiona disembarked, sweat slicked down her spine. She hadn't planned past arrival. Guests lounged in thatched-roofed cabanas. Any of them might be a Whitcomb. She hurried to reception, asked for Villa 9. The clerk smiled politely. Are you joining Mr. and Mrs. Whitcomb's photography session? They didn't mention. Yes, Fiona bluffed. Surprise treat. Clerk handed her a key card. They're at lunch, but feel free to leave equipment. Villa 9 sat at the far edge, half hidden by hibiscus. On the veranda, a pair of sandals, Olivia's petite, Mason's broad, rested side by side. Fiona entered trembling. Air conditioning hummed, luggage stacked neatly, a bouquet of bird of paradise in glass. She crept to the patio door and looked out. There they were. Olivia in a white sundress, Mason shirtless, slicing mango at a small table overlooking coral shallows. They'd laughed over something. Fiona raised the Leica instinctively. Click. She checked the screen. Olivia's sundress morphed to ragged lace-splashed dark. Mason's mango knife elongated, its clean blade mirrored with rust red. The sky behind them churned purple. She lowered the camera, dizzy. The evidence looked crazier than her words. Yet she needed to warn Olivia, and quickly. Mason would hear and spin her as a lunatic. Fiona had to get Olivia alone. She waited until Olivia stepped inside, presumably for napkins. As Olivia approached the foyer, Fiona stood blocking the corridor. Olivia. Hi. Her voice cracked. Olivia squealed happily. Fiona, what on earth? This is amazing. Did Mason plan this? No, I came on my own. I need to talk to you, privately. Olivia tilted her head, smile faltering. Sure. She cast a glance over her shoulder toward the patio, then led Fiona into the bedroom. What's up? Fiona clutched the Leica. Either this sounds impossible, but my camera shows truths. Emotions. Olivia giggled nervously. Truths? I photographed your wedding. When I edited, the pictures changed. They showed Mason hurting you. Here, on your honeymoon. Olivia's hands fluttered to her chest. Fiona, that's... Are you feeling okay? Jet lag, maybe. Look. Fiona scrolled to the newest shot. Olivia's face drained as she studied the ghost image of herself. Bloodied, Mason looming. This is some digital effect, Olivia whispered. It isn't. The camera does this only for me. I can't explain why. But please, something is wrong. Olivia hugged her arms. Mason loves me. He's been perfect. How long have you known him? 6 months. Fiona's stomach pitched. She searched Olivia's eyes. There, beneath the glamour, flickered uncertainty Olivia would not voice. Mason's voice rose outside. Liv, everything okay? Olivia jolted. She touched Fiona's forearm. Stay here. She slipped out, closing the door. Murmured conversation in the living area. Fiona's pulse thundered. She inched the door open a crack. Mason cupped Olivia's elbows. She followed us? That's invasive, he said, tone velvet over steel. She's worried about creative differences, Olivia said. Mason noticed the Leica strap around Fiona's neck. Let's see these artistic concerns. He strode toward her. Fiona retreated, but Mason was fast. He seized the camera, checked the last image. His expression chilled. You manipulated this. He tossed the camera to the bed, turned to Olivia with wounded innocence. She's trying to scare you. Fiona's voice rose. Olivia, search his past. University of North Carolina, girlfriend named Kelly Rowe. Mason flicked a look at Fiona sharp, panicked. He moved to Olivia, gentling his tone. She's delusional, he whispered loudly enough. Let me handle it, okay? Go to the lobby and report her. Security will remove her. Olivia's face struggled. Fiona, I think you should leave. Fiona's throat burned. Please. If I'm wrong, I'll reimburse your whole wedding package. But listen to me tonight, at least, just until tomorrow morning. Mason's jaw ticked. We've indulged enough. He grabbed Fiona's elbow, steering her toward the door. At the threshold, she twisted free. Olivia, let me prove it. One photo. You'll see. She lifted the Leica, but Mason slapped it aside. It clattered to the floor, lens cracking. Olivia gasped. Mason? He froze, realizing the aggression he'd revealed. He forced a smile. Sorry. Slipped. Fiona knelt, retrieving the Leica. The glass spiderweb yet optics may be intact. She snapped a picture of Mason as he exhaled to recompose himself. The preview displayed instantly. Mason's shadow bulged, twin horns sprouting, hands dripping red. Behind him, Olivia's reflection in the wardrobe mirror showed her eyes wide with dawning terror. Olivia saw it too. What is that? Mason lunged. Fiona dodged, sprinting through the villa and out the side door into foliage. Mason thundered behind her. She rounded a palm cluster, ducked. Mason crashed past, cursing. Fiona held her breath until his footsteps receded. She texted Lucas, praying for island reception. He knows. Need proof, fast, Lucas replied, police records sealed. But I found hospital bill for Kelly Rowe 2016, multiple fractures, paid by Whitcomb Family Trust. Sending. A PDF dinged in. Fiona's phone battery flashed red. She saved the file, then crawled through brush back toward the villas. She had to reach Olivia before night. From shadow, she watched villa lights blossom amber. Mason paced the balcony, speaking into a phone, agitated. Olivia nowhere in sight. Fiona crept to the sliding doors, curtains drawn, but one corner gapped. Olivia sat on bed, laptop open. Mason entered, voice low and coaxing. Olivia pointed at screen. Her shoulders shook. Mason stroked her hair, but his jaw was rigid. Fiona lifted the Leica again through the curtain sliver. Click. The cracked lens produced a smudged yet legible scene. Mason coaxing with one hand, behind his back the broken mango knife. Enough. Fiona retreated to reception. The clerk looked startled seeing her dirt smeared. She demanded security, told them a guest was under threat. They hesitated. She displayed the phone PDF of hospital bill, showed them the photos. The images unsettled them, though they couldn't grasp their authenticity. Still, a possible domestic violence claim made them phone local police on the mainland arrival, 1 hour by speedboat. Security escorted Fiona back, only so far. They refused to interrupt newlyweds without warrant. "We'll monitor," said the guard. Posting outside Villa 9, Fiona paced the beach until dusk bled violet. Waves hissed like warning rattlesnakes. Lights in Villa 9 extinguished one by one until only balcony sconces glowed. At last, Olivia emerged alone onto balcony, phone at cheek. Fiona raced to the base of the stilted structure and hissed her name. Olivia leaned over rail, recognized her, then disappeared inside. Heart galloping, Fiona waited. Moments later, Olivia crept down exterior stairs, clutching a tote. "He's showering," she whispered. I saw the bill you sent. He lied about everything." Tears streaked her face. "I'm scared." "We'll go to reception," Fiona said. But Mason's voice echoed behind. "Olivia?" Olivia flinched. Fiona grabbed her hand, yanking her into the foliage maze. They sprinted toward main path. Mason appeared at the top of stairs, dark silhouette against interior light. "Olivia? Come back here!" They crashed through brush, emerging near spa huts. Mason had unearthly speed. Within seconds, he intercepted them, grabbing Olivia's wrist. She screamed. Fiona swung the Leica by its strap, smashing Mason's temple. He staggered but yanked the camera free, hurling it into shallow surf. Lightning cracked across the horizon. A squall was coming. Mason dragged Olivia toward huts. Fiona followed, snatching a pathlight stake from the ground. She raised it, but Mason threw her off balance. Olivia wrestled, nails drawing blood down his forearm. Thunder boomed, rain erupted, drumming leaves. Mason shoved Olivia into an open-air massage cabana, seized a marble Buddha decor piece from the entry table. The tableau from Fiona's slideshow. Time went syrup slow. Fiona dove between Mason and Olivia, arms up. The Buddha statue slammed into her forearm. Pain exploded. She fell sideways. Mason lifted the statue again. "I gave you everything," he snarled at Olivia, voice shredded with rage. Olivia cupped Fiona's fallen pathlight stake, jabbing Mason's ribs. He grunted, dropped the Buddha, which shattered. Olivia scrambled, hauling Fiona toward the beach. Sirens wailed faint across water police boats. Mason caught up on the sand, rain plastering hair to skull. He raised the mango knife, eyes hollow. Fiona, dizzy, reached instinctively for her ruined Leica lying yards away where waves licked. She crawled, seizing it with numb fingers, turned and pressed the shutter, blinded by rain. Flash misfired into darkness. Yet the camera had no flash. A white burst engulfed Mason. For a heartbeat he froze, staring not at the women, but into something behind them. The glow collapsed. Mason dropped the knife, staggered back as if dragged by unseen tide, and fell to his knees. Security guards sprinted from boardwalk, police lights cresting the pier. Mason offered no resistance. He simply wept, repeating, "I didn't mean it," over and over. Fiona collapsed, like a cradled chest. Rain washed salt and blood from her arms. Later, in the island infirmary, Olivia wrapped Fiona's arm in bandage while detectives interviewed them. "What happened when you took the last photograph?" Olivia whispered after officers stepped away. "I'm not sure." Fiona turned the Leica's cracked screen toward her. The final frame displayed all three of them on the stormy beach. Olivia clutching Fiona, Mason poised with knife, yet overlaid upon Mason's chest, glowed translucent script. Choice altered. Below, the timestamp pulsed and dissolved into ordinary numerals. The image stopped shifting. Mason's fury, Olivia's terror, Fiona's resolve. Emotions recorded but no longer predictive, just history. "What will you do with it?" Olivia asked. Fiona closed the camera's battered body. "Retire it, maybe, or Save it for when truth is too slippery. Olivia hugged her. You saved my life. Fiona winced at the ache in her arm, but returned the embrace. Outside, dawn lifted its pastel curtain over the water, innocent as though night had never howled. The gift, or curse, that lived in the Leica had forced Fiona at last to intervene. Perhaps it would demand other reckonings, but for now the camera rested silent, its future delivered, its future unwritten, and, for the first time, Fiona allowed herself to believe that outcomes could be changed by those brave enough to see the hidden picture and step inside it.